So then I'm going to give it back to you guys. And we'll move on.
Got a question.
What? Is there a microphone?
I can do that. The players on the show.
Yes.
They do ham radio now and flash businesses or waiting states.
Of the licensed cast members, only Tim and Jet are licensed cast members. On the crew, there have been as many at times as 35. At the moment, it's probably more like about 15 or 16, because you might know we were canceled for a year. And at that time, people have to go take other jobs, and people move around. So at the moment, we've got about 15, and Jet's father both got licensed. In fact, Jet will be here. If you guys are here tomorrow, Saturday, wandering around, you may just run into Jet, because he wants to see hamvention break out. He's loving, he's got, both he and his dad have ID51A2s, and we got those for him a couple of months ago, I guess. And he got on the air immediately. He just is in love with ham radio, and especially in love. Some of you might have worked him. If you're in Southern California, he's all over the Papa system. In fact, you know how much 60 and 70-year-old hams love to talk to 14-year-old boys. Right? So he's a professional. He'll literally run through his battery and his dad's battery, and I gave him a third battery just so he can stay on the air a little longer. But he's just loving it, and hopefully through D-Star, you guys actually get to work some of our actual cast members. That's it? All right, I'm going to pass it on so we can get to what really matters, which is how do we get 9700s?
So here's the man that answered the question that was left hanging. We kind of, he hadn't seen it, so we were kind of giving him a little bit of a text the last 3 days, like we're in the video, we're in trouble now. So, Will Grenade, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the 9700.
For 2 or 3 days now, warning me that I was going to be a part of the video there, so not as bad as it could have been. So thank you for that. That was I am that guy. So thanks everybody for coming out this evening. It's great to see everybody here. I see some familiar faces out there in the audience, even former proprietor of my son, also really good to see. And some new faces as well. So thank you all for coming out and sharing in the community and fellowship that D-Star allows us to enjoy. On the main event, the 9700, the IC 9700. Let's start with a show of hands. How many of you here this evening already have a 9700? Okay, all right, good to you. How many of you that already have one taken out of the box yet? Yeah? Still written manuals, okay, I hear that, fair enough. How many of you plan to pick one up this weekend? Not as many hands, maybe we can change that. We'll see what we can do. Well, I have good news for those of you that already have a 9700. You now have in your possession one of the most powerful D-Star radios that I come to produce. The 9700 is a tri-band radio, 2 meter and 1.2 gigahertz. Those people who are familiar with D-Star, most of you I presume. We'll note that those are the primary bands that D-Star live on. And so, of course, the 9700 is a capable D-Star radio right out of the box. Ed touched briefly in his intro there on DR mode and the importance of using and learning DR mode. The 9700 is fully DR mode capable and makes it very easy. If you're familiar with the 7300 and its form factor, shape, and touchscreen capabilities, the 9700 is incredibly similar to that radio. The touchscreen operates very similarly, the layout is very similar. So for those of you that do have a 7300 or have used one at various events and things over the years, you'll find yourself looking into a 9700. Very little trouble. It's a really, really fun radio. So I mentioned that that is one of the most powerful D-Star radios to date. There are a couple reasons for that. One of the main things is that the 9700 has the capability to do 100 watts on 2 meters, 75 watts on 40, and a whole 10 watts on 1.2 gigahertz. So you get a little more talk power out of your 9700 than you do out of anything like 5100 volt or obviously a 5100 handheld. But the 9700 is also, sorry, I need the mic a little bit more. The The 9700 also uses some of the newest data modes, data transfer. It's an all-mode radio, I should mention, sideband, AM, FM, also digital voice, but then also digital data. That's one of the biggest ones, the ones that we think is going to make the biggest difference for a lot of folks. The 9700 is capable of doing 128K digital data. That is, for those of you who have experience with D-Star digital data, you will know that that is very fast compared to anything that we have done in the past. So it's a lot of fun. I was able to spend time with John and Ed. I happen to be from Atlanta, Georgia as well, so I get to spend some time with those dudes. And we spent some time in Ed's kitchen one Saturday morning, and we played around. We set up a little ad hoc kind of setup with several 9700s that we had on hand. And we did some testing. We did some testing back and forth. We did conventional data transfer using DRATs. And then we also tested the 128K data done by the Ethernet port back in radio. And let me tell you, it is a night and day difference. It is just so much faster. It's like transitioning from dial-up to Google Fiber. It's very, very nice. And anyone who has used DRATs or has deployed the digital data technologies of D-Star in the past, you'll know that when you're using that technology, when you're using DRATs, typically seconds matter. Oftentimes, DRATs will be set up in an emergency type situation as backup communications or auxiliary communications for emergency situations, hospitals, drills and things like that, and seconds do matter. So having faster data is very important. It's going to be very important going forward. So we're very excited that send text files, even picture files, much faster than we be capable of in the past. Sorry, I'm being lectured on microphone technique here. Yet again. I see a question there in the audience. Let's go ahead.
Is that all three names?
Yes. Yes, indeed it is. So we're very glad that the 9700 has that capability to be able to get that data pushed through that much faster. It's quite the upgrade from what we've been enjoying in the past. I mentioned that it is DRADS compatible in the 9700. That's very important because that is the primary method of data transfer with the radio. So let's get another show of hands here. How many of you guys have used DRADS in the past? How many are familiar with the implementation? Very nice, very nice. Well done, everybody. So that's great. We hope that you're able to get your hands on a 9700 soon. Test one out. Maybe the local club gets one, or maybe someone you know. Strongly recommend that you try it out and see what it brings to the table. Let's see. Are there any other questions there in the audience specifically related to the 9700 right now? Not currently, no. Not at the moment.
I got two questions. One, is it data and voice package used, and is it peer-to-peer or
It can be.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Oh, he asks if the second question was whether or not 128K data is via the network or if it's peer-to-peer, and the answer is either or, whatever you like. The setup that John, Ed, and I tested was peer-to-peer, but it doesn't work over the great D-Star network. Actually, I take that back. We did have a chance to, we were within range of one of the local machines. We were going into dummy mode, but even still, we were quite close to one machine. We were able to trip it and get that data to go through the repeater as well. And then the other question, I'm sorry.
Next was the G128 that you both the voice package and data package? Or is it just usually run voice?
That's a good question. Fred, can you help me out with that one?
Sorry, script.
128K data, are we using the voice and data path, or is it just the data path?
Digital data package. Strictly the digital data package.
Strictly the digital data path. On 1.2. Other questions, 9700, or just general, oh, okay, there we go in the back.
Yeah, I've seen some comments on the internet about concerns over frequency stability.
We have seen those as well. We are continuing to gather data on that matter, and we are sending all of that data to the necessary parties, and we are working on it and are aware of the issue. Anyone else? Any other questions? General D-Star related items, 9700 specific, anything like that? Nobody?
Let's play stump still.
Yeah, come on, don't make it too easy now, folks. All right, well, if not, then I'd just like to say thank you to John and Ed for allowing me the time to get up here. This is just a general D-Star show, and I appreciate them allowing me a few minutes to get up here and talk about the new toys. Thanks again to all of you guys for coming. And I should mention as well, for those of you who will be at the show tomorrow, please swing by the Icon booth. We are in Building 2. You can't miss us. Who says Icon? Places. So swing on by. We have drawings tomorrow at noon and 3 o'clock. You need to get your name in our proverbial bucket. It's not an actual bucket. We'll take your name in front of the booth. There'll be 2 laptops set up. You give them your call sign, and you are then entered for both drawings for the day, 12 o'clock and noon, or noon and 3 o'clock. And you may be able to take a home with you, or another Icon radio, or maybe just a nice flag. So come on by and see us. We have to get a 10-cent tour of 9700 or any other Icon radio under the sun. And have a great show.
So next we got Fred Varian, WD5 DRD.
Trust servers.
He's going to make you wear 1 or 2 hats tonight. But first we're going to have him represent the U.S. Trust Server team. What the heck is the U.S. Trust Server? So all the repeaters exchange information with each other. What are all the other repeaters? What are all the other reflectors? What's everything out there? They have to exchange information with each other. Instead of every repeater talking to every repeater, they all talk back to one central server. That is the trust server. So that's at the core of this. You maybe probably never heard it, but most people have never seen it, never interacted with it, but it's occurring in the background. And generally, you don't worry about it. And to me, that is the best solution that exists, is one that you don't know, it's doing the work, you never know it's there, you never know it's doing anything. But there's a team that works on this, that keeps it up, makes sure it keeps working, and working, and working, and working. It's now been on the air for 14 years, something like that. It's been on for a while. I think there's maybe only 1 or 2 little outages that's ever occurred out of it. It's all, but the team does a good job, and Fred's going to represent this evening's words of wisdom.
Thank you. Good evening. As he said, I'm Fred Varian. Prior to coming to work for ICOM, I was with a group in Dallas called K5TIT, the Texas Interconnect Team. And we, in negotiations with ICOM, talked about the trust server because it's required for the D-Star network. And the decision was made that it would be out in the amateur community. And our group volunteered to do the trust server. We had the first trust server worldwide. It was a global trust server. There are a few others currently in the world, one in Europe and one in Japan. We have special scripts written now that cause the data interchange between the 3 trust servers, so that, as an example, the JARL trust server in Japan, its database is copied to ours, and ours is copied to them. That's a special script that was written by ICOM Home Company Engineering, and we worked on implementing the bugs and getting them out of it. The trust server team, if you're familiar with just a computer server, we babysit that computer server. It is a server network. There's more than one. And as Ed said, there have been a few hiccups, fortunately minor ones. We pretty well monitor it at 7 by 24, 365, and it is a small group. We're running the G3 software in the trust server. It It is a marvelous improvement over the G1 software. So the generations as they come, a lot of the bugs are taken out of it. It runs good. Fortunately for us, it makes our job a lot easier. The biggest challenge that we have currently, two challenges we have currently worldwide, is when a gateway goes off the air, that gateway and the users are what's called orphaned. There are some ways around it. As an example, if the gateway goes away and has 10 users registered on it, those 10 users can still use their radios on any gateway in the world because that gateway is shared amongst the trust server and all the other gateways. Their issue comes in if the user wants to make some significant changes to terminals. There's no computer to log into it. The trust server admin team can manually go in and delete that user. I will tell you right now, though, it is not easy. It is an SQL database, and as you can imagine, when you're dealing in a global database that's changing a lot, if you make it oops, suddenly all the database stops. And you don't want the oops to be there too long because that oops will propagate out to all the B-Star gateways in the world. So the cleanup becomes a lot more difficult. It's a lot of fun working on it. It's actually why I'm with ICOM today. I started with the trust server team, and Ray was having me go around with the other folks from A5TIT to do lectures around the country. And I had the opportunity in my job to be very flexible. And I got a great offer to retire. Ray decided, oh boy, you're free to do a lot more. And after a year of that, I was asked to come work for him. I'm in the tech support group, so if you call into tech support for help on radios, you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting in. And I work with lots of these star administrators around the world. And I say around the world because no matter what part of Europe or South America, I don't speak Polish. I've had to challenge with that one night late in Italy, where the administrator did not speak English. And so I was challenged, but we worked through it and got there. But I work with administrators around the world. It's a lot of fun. Good bunch of folks. Most administrators, when they started, had no knowledge of Linux or CentOS or computers. And wherever we get stuff up in there and work, it's been a lot of fun. Are there any questions about gateway administration real quick? Anybody got one? Yes, sir.
Energy for evaluate the application and what they speak of English and why that no longer exists. That's the secret time to follow with skills and basic use on that. So what exactly will happen to those?
The administrator,
Can you repeat the question, sir?
His question is, the gateway has gone off the air and it's gone. What has happened to the users? They are what we call orphan users. They're still in the database worldwide. They don't have a computer, the gateway, that they can log into to change their registration. They're perfectly fine unless they want to make a change. They can be there forever. We have had instances where people wanted that all to go away and we have to work to delete that from the database. There's no harm in leaving it. They get synchronized just like everybody else, as if the gateway was really there. It's just they can't change the registration. That answer your question? Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Can you be registered in 2 different places? The old answer was absolutely not. The new answer is there is an exception to that. If you originally signed up under G2, you were registered under G2. G3 introduced access point terminal nodes. G2 doesn't have the capability to do that. So you could go to Regis as an example, which is a G3 system, and register an access point. You could also register, you can do it the additional data, but you can't change it. That's the exception. Okay?
But just to clarify that, you should be registered in one place and only one place, with the exception of adding the terminal access mode, where you go to register the point. If you are a system administrator and you have a registration request, you must go check to see if that user is already registered somewhere else. If they are registered somewhere else, do not approve them. You need to be one place.
That's
one place
manual.
only.
If it gets approved for any reason, it's manual intervention.
This question is, really, someone who failed.
Okay.
And then they had to register somewhere else.
You know, if they're orphaned and for some reason want to get registered in a working system, then the trust server admin team has to delete them. And then they can register on another working system or links.
But there's essentially no reason that an orphaned user has to do anything.
Right.
So there, don't feel a need to, don't feel the need anything, you really don't. If you've been orphaned, fine. I have never touched my record since I registered it 10 years ago.
Yeah, I will also say this. Let's say you have a call sign today. You go get a vanity call. I want to register my vanity call. Go register your vanity call. Do I need to worry about my old call? No. No harm leaving it there. It's just more data in the database. Along with the data in the database, one challenge with G3 with access point and terminal nodes. An access point registration in the database looks like a gateway. So to me, in the trust server, I have this pile that are true gateways, and I have this pile that are access points. And at times it's hard to tell the difference. We did not know that the JARL was allowing access point registrations over there because we had been told they couldn't. And all of a sudden, we got email back and forth with our compadres over in Japan. There's all duplicate database showing up in Japan in the JARL trust server. It was because of access point registration. And this is what took them by surprise. And I would say the database in the JARL has easily doubled in the last 8 months because of access point registration. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
There's still over 100 G2 gateways out there. Is there going to be any sort of push to get them to G3 or?
Repeat the question.
Huh?
Repeat the question.
I will. His question was, there's over 100 G2 gateways out there. Is there a push to get rid of them? I can't stop it right now. I will say this, both from the trust server admin team person and my ICOM head. If you want to convert it from G2 to G3, get a hold of me at ICOM, and I'll work with you to do that. There's really no reason to not convert it. There are some really good benefits to it. But it requires work. The G2 system is on 32-bit computer. G3 is a 64-bit computer running CentOS 7. Now, I will tell you that I pushed for the CentOS 7, so if you're upset about that, that's my fault. But the reason being is that operating system has the longest end-of-life cycle before it goes away. So we wanted to try to extend it way out as far as we could before we had to mess with doing something different. And learning challenge. Terry, sorry. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Terry. Terry said he would like me to encourage any system administrator to be sure your D+ is on the latest version. It throws errors. We see those in error reports. It can cause a little bit of issue at times with being able to link things. So you really want to keep your D+ updated. The D+ is the package that's loaded on the D-Star gateway that allows all of the linking and reflector processes. Any other questions? Okay, but take my trust server hat off and I'm going to put my ICOM badge on again, and I'll make the same announcement again regarding G2 to G3. you want to upgrade your system, give me a call. I'm coordinating that now for most of the world, going through that process, helping them do it. So it's I don't want to say it's totally painless, but it's pretty easy. There is a difference in the operating system and getting a new computer. We do have a lot of it scripted. It's pretty quick to do, pretty smooth to do from that standpoint. Ray wanted me to also make an announcement for any of you that have a 2820. It appears that HRO purchased all of the UT123 boards that were available at ICOM. And they have a fantastic offer if you need a UT123 for 2820. It's $19.95.
Wow.
Ray, I was coming over here with left the venue. Ray called me on the phone and said, "Hey, this is going on. You need to be sure to announce it." So I made my quota for that announcement for Ray. The 9700 has been very active. We looked at today. The comments that were made to Ray, to Will, we have heard those. Tech support in here, so I know that they've been passed on to the engineers. So thank you. I will also make another comment in general. Because it's reported on a forum or on Facebook, doesn't mean ICOM knows about it. From my tech support role, I will be very candid to tell you that if I get 5 or 6 phone calls, or my team does, or our team does, it's 5 or 6 phone calls, and we go to report it, put yourself in an engineer's position. I'm going to him and I'm saying, I see getting reports that blue hat is really not blue. The engineer or person designing it is going to come back to me and say, how many people have stated this is an issue? I cannot look in our incident system and say, I've got 10 reports, I've got 100 reports. I go, I've got 3. But they go, somebody will say, well, there's 500 comments about it, or 500 people reporting it on the internet. It's on the internet. You haven't told us. My supervisor and our team very much want to pass the word. If you have an issue, it's great to put it on the forums, especially over there, but let us know. The tech support number, if you need it, is 800-253-1498, and it goes right into our group. We're happy to answer it. We are taking phone calls from 7 o'clock Eastern time. I'm sorry, 7 o'clock Eastern to 5 o'clock Pacific. So it's a long day.
Can you repeat the number, please?
I'm sorry? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It brings up a good point. It's something that is well worth mentioning. Anyone here who is a member of a ham club who is interested in getting a D-Star repeater of your own for your area, we currently have a program in play for clubs, ARRL sanctioned clubs. You can get in touch with us if you go to iconamerica.com. Make your way to the amateur page on that site, and you'll see a little bar below the little video crawler that says View Current Promotion. You click on that, and you'll see where it says D-Star Infrastructure by Direct. That's a program that we're running currently through the end of June of this year. Qualifying clubs can purchase one RF module and a controller. It comes with the G3 software for standard by direct pricing, which is going to be about $1,500 all said and done, plus tax and shipping. Then, if you get there's some stipulations. Once you receive the hardware, you need to have a certain number of registered users on the gateway. I forget the specific number, forgive me. 10 registered users on the gateway within 90 days of receipt of the hardware. And at that time, you qualify for a $1,000 rebate, bringing the total price for that single RF module, single RF system down to about $500. So, for those of you who are interested, anybody with a club who has considered getting into D-Star, buying a repeater, now is the best time to do so. So please, again, iconamerica.com, the amateur section of that webpage, you'll see a little bar that says View Current Promotions. click on that and you'll see the link.
So I'd ask you to repeat that tech support number.
PR 549. 800-253-1498. 800-253-1498. Yes, sir.
As it relates to some of the issues with the 9700, is there value in having more calls into the ICOM tech support system in order for the issues to get the appropriate level of attention, or has attention already been?
I would tell you based on what I've heard here and from my normal day, what we're getting, we've got several people that have called in. I know that that information's been passed to engineering. If I believe in the process and you're having a problem with your radio, then truly I would call in to report your problem on the radio. There is no benefit for you to call in and say, Terry's got a problem with his radio. Terry needs to call in. And I'm picking on Terry. For those of you that don't know Terry, one of the nice things about starting repeaters, getting trustee administrators up in line, is Terry is taking on the role of volunteer Elmer for administrators. And we talk quite a bit on the phone. He does a great job of helping folks. And I really appreciate what he does because he helps a lot of people get their gateways up. And I never even hear from him. So thank you. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Your system won't capture an individual like me who is listening to the chatter and deciding that I'm not going to make my purchase until the issues are resolved. So I'm sure ICOM is savvy enough to know that there are people like that that have an interest in this as well, but aren't going to call in or support it.
I think if you have enough concern about what you perceive as a deficiency in the radio that you're not going to purchase it, I would say call. We can write that up in the incident. We can feed that to Will and Ray and let it go through that side of the world rather than a bug fix side, although they do get reported both ways. But that volume also needs to be heard. So I would say yeah.
I'll just add, as a person who posts in many different forums, reads many different forums, when you hear a problem coming up in a forum, and you see 10, 15, 20 people posting about this in the forum, assume that is probably less than 1% of the people in real life that's actually having that problem. Because people on forums come to complain. How many people come to generally say, this is really good, it's all working for me? It's generally those who are coming in to complain. So make sure you always take things you read on the forums with a grain of salt and make your own decisions as opposed to that. Because a lot of times people bring the things up and it's just wrong. That's a common thing.
One thing I will comment on to that regard, if you call in and say, I've got received XYZ problem with this radio, one of the things that will happen when we get that report, we will try to duplicate that on our radio so that it's demonstratable. It may be a unique issue with what's going on with you, but I can take issues sent into our group, and 10 people are saying, I've got this same deficiency, and we can test it. It makes that information going back to engineering a lot more viable. It is repeatable. You know, you're chasing a ghost, you can't repeat it.
We want to hear from you. We very much want to hear from you. We need your feedback. It is one of the most important things that you can do for us. Let us know how you feel about our products, for the good or for the bad. We need to hear it. We need to hear it from you. Let us know. We are committed to providing the best user experience for all of our users. So even if there is something with the radio that affects even 1% of the population of that radio, we want to know about it. We need to. If we don't know about it, we can't fix it. So please send us information and be as detailed as you can about what we need to hear. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got some feedback on the 9700. It's great radio. I love it.
We love that kind of feedback, so we're always very glad to hear that. Thank you for that, sir.
Any other questions? I don't need the microphone.
Where is this server located?
It's a secret.
If Jim McClellan was here, he'd tell you, we can't tell you, we'd have to kill you. Having said that, the server complex is located in multiple sites in Dallas, Texas. We adhere to the standard data center rule that a backup to the main system cannot be within 3 physical miles of each other for power outages. And Dallas gets tornadoes. Tomorrow's going to be a wonderful day. So we adhere to that. But there are multiple servers. They're all located in the Dallas area. They are in very large data centers. Any other questions? Here's Eddie.
This is your chance. I'm here. Those 3 gentlemen will be available in the icon booth tomorrow. Drop by. Feel free to harass them. Tell them that I said to harass them. And they love talking. That's the thing. Both of these guys love to talk to you. They love to hear from you. Drop by and have a chat with them. They'll love talking with you. And as well as other icon folks in the booth. You see some of them spread around here this evening. Drop by and say hello to them. Jim. Oh, right here. Hiding behind you. It has been a long day, so excuse me for that. So, does everybody have a good day? Everybody have a great evening? Everybody have heard of the dayton spot?
Used to be a buzzer.
This is the guy behind you.
You had to do the exact right sequence.
See how I do the volume. I see a lot of familiar faces from earlier today. This talk is very, very similar to the one I gave earlier. I know everybody wants to get going and more food, so I'm gonna go into
Turn up the volume.
Pump up the volume.
Is this better? A little better? Someone I hope is probably here. Okay. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about was the history of the MMDBM project, which is the underlying technology to virtually all of the hotspots that are out there. My start in the digital world started with D-Star a lot of years ago. I don't want to say how many now, but it seems like a lot. The first thing I implemented as I got interested in there was a USB dongle for A and B. It had similar functionality to the DV dongle. We never made it and sold it, but it was an interesting, fun project. On to 2011, and I started trying to produce my own version of the GMSK repeater hardware so that I could use my own radios. A couple of years later, got into the 7021 based thing, and that Frankenstein thing is the first spot. MMDBM. So back in the spring of 2015, Jonathan had this idea of doing a software modem that could do multiple modes. He had done preliminary work for D-Star, and he said he thought he could get other ones to work. He contacted me, and I thought about trying to do the hardware for him. I didn't think it was much of a project, so I said thank you, but no, and assumed that was it. And then I slept on it for a couple nights and realized that Jonathan's a brilliant person. He must have more ideas than I do. So I went and dug out of the parts bin some of the old hotspot parts, rejiggered it, and came up with the first hardware for MMDBM and the firmware for it. Sent it to Jonathan, and a couple of weeks later, there were 2 D-Star MMDB repeaters, one in my house and one in Jonathan's house. I don't know how many there are now, but there are a lot, especially if you count all the hotspots. When we got into doing the Zoom spot itself, we got a huge amount of help from Andy CP6JAU. He's in Chile. He's a superstar when it comes to firmware. And we're, as a project, very happy to have him and very lucky to have him. These are slides. When Ed asked me to talk, I didn't have any of my slides here, so some of these I had to pull off the ones I gave Ed Pacific on. But as of now, we support D-Star, DMR Fusion, P25, NXDN, and POXEG. For those who don't know, POXEG is the pager protocol. So you now dig out those pagers out of your drawers and start sending yourself messages.
Yeah.
I know everybody's dying to do that. There's a bunch of hardware projects that Zoom Radio has produced and others have produced, and they range from repeater boards to allow you to do a repeater on your hilltop to your low power 10 kilowatt heaters for your house. As always, all my testing is done with D-Star. If you look at the front packaging of a Zoom spot, you'll see that the call sign and the mode is D-Star. I'm still very much a D-Star person. I haven't yet swayed over to the dark side. This is the board for the Hilltop, and it sits on a Raspberry Pi. It has a very high-end ARM processor to be able to do all the heavy lifting, modulation, and demodulation. The Zoom spot is what most people are familiar with. Again, you can see the D-Star is up there. The Zoom Spot USB has been added as a product to allow people who don't want to use Raspberry Pi, Mac, Windows machine. Quiet project that came out that hasn't been given a lot of attention and not many people are that interested is a way to connect your Zoom Spot to your phone by Android or iOS phones by Bluetooth, and a few people like that. It's another option for them. But the big thing that's been part of MMPDM is that it's all open source. All of the software is up on GitHub. Those are the two main projects up there. Hardware schematics, board layouts, and so on are online. And I think that's what's helped the project be successful and continue to be successful is that there's help out there. If there's a bug, you've got a whole bunch of people with copies of the source code to go through it. When you look at other projects, and I won't name them because they were innovative in their time in this space, they came along and there were bugs and the project kind of died. I feel badly for those people who bought those products because there's really not a lot of options. Help fix those now. And MMDVM, from the original time, Jonathan and I's discussion was it all had to be open source. And I wanted to make sure that these options are available for fixing problems, support. The previous slide mentioned there's over 3,000 members of the Yahoo group. It's rare that you can post a question there and not have it answered by somebody within just a very few minutes. And we'll talk briefly about licensing as part of the open source. Creative Commons asks for attribution, meaning all of the contributors to the project up to that point need to be addressed and put notification of those people. All of the projects are set up as non-commercial at the moment with options for a commercial side license. Share alike means if you take any of the code or the hardware designs and you change them, you need to contribute your changes back to the project. And plus is the addition of the additional mode that can be done for commercial examples. The software is under GPL2 license. It's my preferred open source license. Again, it's got similar conditions. There's attribution. It has to be shared. And MMPDM and the whole project are designed to be amateur only. And if you read Jonathan's text, it says this code is for amateur use only. We're very lucky that we're able to use some of these technologies for amateur use. If they were commercial, we'd have some problems. As a project, we want to avoid any of that. Yeah, so the idea of the hotspot is really part of my motivation for that is I cannot get a single D-Star repeater in my house. Reliable. If I have just the right conditions, I can get to one that's 100 miles away from my house. I know just the right condition. That's not very often. So my only way of getting D-Star is through a hotspot. I'd like to think that each one of these hotspots means an HT is getting sold. And someone who don't have a hotspot or they're not yet into the D-Star world, a hotspot is relatively inexpensive. In addition to your bag of radios, UHF only, the hotspots are UHF only, and they're a great match, and it's a great little radio. That'll be my plus. So, that is not good, so. So, I know you guys wanna get going, I've got a points drill here shortly. I'll hang out afterwards for a few minutes, somebody wants to talk. I will put in one small plug. When I get a return on one of these boards and refurbish it, repair it, I can't sell it as new. I have a small number of boards tonight that I might be able to let go for a deep discount. So come see me afterwards, but I can't sell them as new, and HR will take them as new. Yeah. So, any quick questions, and then there's some giveaways here. Yeah.
So on that last slide, you said non-commercial, but then you also said for amateur use. The hotspots have all kinds of features that the repeaters don't have. Does that mean ICOM can never incorporate any of the nice hotspot features of like you're talking about here in their repeater software, or do they have permission to do that?
It's complicated because the software is under a different license than the hardware, and it's not a simple yes/no answer. And the answer is, in the end, yes, it can be arranged. That's why, at least in the hardware, there's the plus portion of the Creative Commons that allows for commercial will just be for financial gain. So if you were to take the design and build and manufacture and sell them, then that becomes commercial. If you want to build, the original idea for this license was take the design, build one at home, play with it, enjoy it, change it, do whatever you want with it. That's great. Build a piece for the club, knock yourself out. You start running 100,000 through China, that this original designers have a problem. For the GTL code, it still needs to be for amateur use. And if ICOM wanted to include some of these things in there, I know Jonathan and I would be more than happy to start talking about how to make that happen. There's ways to make it happen.
Because I get asked all the time as an admin for repeaters here in the local Dayton area, why can't the ICOM repeaters do what my hotspot does? So I just wanted to ask.
And some of them may not match with the vision that ICOM has for their product.
Well,
And that's
right,
fine too. And this is why we experiment. But
I get the
yeah,
question.
so there are options. I'm sure we can figure something out.
Jim, it might be worth mentioning, if you look at what is a repeater and what is ICOM, there's very little, the hardware, the basic hardware of the repeater, if you're using ICOM hardware, and the basic gateway software is ICOM. But there are so many things that are third-party developed that are not a part of ICOM. The linking and unlinking that you get for D+ is not ICOM. That's a third-party developer for that. Things like MonLink that a lot of people use, these are third-party applications, not from ICOM. ICOM really doesn't care, it just makes their product look a little better, I guess. But that was one of the beauties of D-Star, in that you had the opportunity to do that experimentation and add third-party applications, or someone developing something. So if someone developed that, or if Jim did that, for example, that would run on a gateway, whatever that feature might be, that's certainly an option that anyone could do.
There's a lot of spare time and taking away from your day job problem here more than anything else in the world.
The big thing also to remember is D-Star protocol was developed by the JARL. So the basic world that all of D-Star is in is within that JARL protocol, which is not private, by the way, it's public. So that by it being public, you have those add-ons, as John mentioned, D+, MonLink, DSM, so many others. The IRC-DDB is another little world that links in to it all. It's all based on that JARL public protocol. ICOM built hardware to take the JAR protocol and implement it to get D-Star going. Oh, and I will say this, a lot of it was based on telecommunications laws in Japan. And so when it first came out, it was very restricted because of the telecommunications rules in Japan. And it expanded, they expanded the protocol, and things changed in G1 and G2, specifically because we worked with the Japanese engineers from the truss server admin team. Worked with the Japanese engineers at ICOM and with representatives of the JARL and got them to modify some things because of what we were hearing back from administrators. And I'll give you one really quick example. In Japan, DHCP is illegal. They have fixed IP addresses. So the first gateways all had to have fixed IPs. In the United States, that's a commercial IP. It's hugely expensive. I spent, Jim McClellan, the head of the trust server admin team, and myself spent 4 hours on the phone with Japanese engineers and the JARL explaining DHCP, and got back after all that conversation, good idea. And it came out in G2. The trust server was fixed, the repeaters were all DHCP. It can evolve, it's just not overnight.
How did we survive? Yeah.
You speak up.
Horse tables.
Stabilization issue, and even includes some information changing. I don't know if you ever see that on
You're playing my straight man for time. The problem is,
What was the question?
so I'm repeating the problem. The question is a problem. I'm repeating it for you. There are Zoom Spot similar products manufactured in China that have frequency issues, and they all seem to have that problem, and the Zoom Spots don't. And it all comes down to the quality of manufacturing, I think, and some other things that we do in our board that they don't do, and I don't think they do that. They don't care. They stole the design from somebody. They're not following any of the permissions that are there in the Chinese courts, and there's very little we can do about it. And other than continue to produce a product that does not require sets and continues to work beyond the and innovate new products. Innovate new products, and we, as Zoom Radio, we are continuing to introduce new things. Something arrived at the factory on Monday. We didn't do that for the show for the next few days. Something else will be coming out, and I can't talk about this. One thing that we don't do is mention products until they're stocked in stores. I don't give any lead time, any stuff ahead of time. Because we have a lot of products we try and they don't work well. We change chipsets, we do all kinds of things, and if they don't work well, we abandon them. Ed, do you want to get to the giveaway?
Yeah.
Thank you. A few little things real quick. If you did not see it, they're limited edition icon pins. No less than 10 million were made. They're in the back where there's Amy's hold up there, turn aside. She's waving at you. Amy is my other half. Okay, before I get up. She arranged the food this evening. So what are you going to do for her? Also, limited edition ham home board stickers. These are a great addition to your shack, to your car, maybe buggy, whatever you want to add it to. More limited edition. Icon. Tesla was right. Everybody remember Tesla?
Yep. Killed it.
If you don't, go read about Tesla. He's pretty cool. And also, I got one of his cars. Well, not his cars, but those are also pretty cool. We've got these pads back there also. Both the pens and the pads, if you've got schools, if you've got groups, feel free to take some back to those folks. We should have plenty of these available. So take these back, put them in the school, let the groups know about them, have some fun.
Schools need them.
We've got a number of giveaways. Door prizes. So one of our door prizes is the D-Star Cruise shirt that the folks this morning in class got. So we missed giving out one today, so we will fix that here in just a second. Because we're going to be giving these away. We're going to draw tickets for them. And it's just going to be easier as you leave. They're piled up outside on the table. So grab one on the way out, courtesy of ICOM. We've got a number of door prizes today. The last man standing, this is a large shirt, that's right. This is a large shirt, the white ones are large shirts. These indeed are relatively collectible. Not everybody has these. John didn't bring me one. Some more last man standing shirts. These are extra large, which is medium for him.
What about grown men? What about grown men?
Yeah, when ICOM called, like, what size shirts do we need to have for everybody? It was like, how many small? Yeah. But we do have a outside.
Yeah, grown man.
Everybody really needs the last man standing mug.
Yeah.
And these are all courtesy of John, last man standing. What is We have the battery box.
Oh, Zoom spot.
And courtesy of Zoom Radio, we have a Zoom spot. This is the display version of the Zoom. This is a really nice little box. You can't have just one. But if you have two or more, make sure they're on different frequencies. And then this is my prize for the evening, so I'm going home with this one. They always get upset when I say this. So this is ID 51.
Oh, 51.
This is currently shipping radio. This radio is probably the best handheld radio of all handheld radios. How many radios do you know come with a database of repeaters in them? So that you can actually go to the radio and say, tell me where the nearest repeater is. This one actually comes with a database inside of it. This database is actually a little bit older.
It's outdated.
It's 3 years old, 4 years old, something like that.
But if you came to the class this morning, you learned how to update the memories in that.
And you can go to
My class, those of you that were here,
you can go to dstarinfo.com and download the update for the radios. What's in here by default from the factory is the D-Star repeaters and a couple of FM repeaters around. Georgia has 2 FM repeaters in here. The radio has limited memory, and when you look at the number of FM repeaters and all repeaters together, it's somewhere between 25,000 in the United States. They just don't fit in the radio, so you can load them into the radio. And so with D-Star Info, you can get the D-Star repeater, and you can get your closest FM repeaters for this radio. That makes this basically a no-program radio. ICOM works really hard to make D-Star easy. They also made radio easy. For those of you who may be new or who are teaching new hams how to program their radios, that is generally the hardest thing in the world to do. Basically here, you update the radio, you go in here and say, give me the nearest repeater, whether it's digital, whether it's FM, you click on it, it's programmed. It's got the tone, it's got the offset, it's got the frequencies, it's got everything in the radio. And it will also tell you how far away the repeater is from you, what direction it is. It's a really cool feature. So,
before we start, is there anyone who did not get a ticket?
Good.
And I will say also that after we do this and we let out, we're gonna replay the Last Man Standing video again. There were some people who made it a little bit late, so we'll replay that. We'll watch it again. Feel free to stay in and watch it, but we'll do that again. So what we're gonna go with first? The mud.
Last man standing.
The mud.
I'm only going to read the last three digits since they all start with 7205.
Okay.
For the last man standing mug, 892.
892.
Going once.
I sit back here. So I've decided, since I have these roll of tickets and reach for these, I'm gonna always take the roll of tickets with me, so when a number's called out, I can just pick it off the roll that I have.
Can you read the last four digits? Because mine doesn't start with a 5.
Sure. Let's do one of the white last man standing shirts, t-shirts.
If you or somebody in your family, the wife, the kids, or somewhere else, this shirt does not fit, maybe somebody going to school or somewhere like that, somewhere or another where it can be used well, if it doesn't work, we'll go ahead and skip forward.
But if you wear it, make sure you wear it so the ratings go up. Right, John? All right. Yeah, you're right. There are some others, so I'll read four digits. For this shirt, 5954. 5954. There we go. You're right. Ed will love you to death, but you're right.
Repeat the question.
Don't think that's going to happen. All right, another ticket. 5937. 5937. Yay.
Thank you.
All right, another one of the extra large dark shirts with last man standing on the sleeve goes to 5905. Here we go. Right here. All right, another white, that's large last man standing shirt, 5967. 5967. There he is. All right, one more of the extra large last man standing on the sleeve. 5936. 5936. There he is in the back. All right, we have one more of the large last man standing t-shirts. 6050. All right. Another one. 5942. In the back. Oh, there we go.
So, you guys here, Tommy and George, they do an awesome job for Ham Radio. And they do a great job for D-Star also. I appreciate everything they do for us.
I'm going to put these tickets back in the box for our two best prizes. The first one is going to be the Zoom spot. Thank you, Jim, at Zoom Radio, for that.
Yeah.
5, 8, 9, 4. 5, 8, 9, 4.
Jim will be happy to walk you through the setup of it tomorrow. Jim is appearing daily in the Ham Radio Outlet booth. So after you go talk to the folks over ICOM, turn around, and it's in the small HRO booth there, is where Jim is, facing the ICOM booth. So he's there. If you get any questions, feel free to head over and say howdy to them. Thank them for everything they do for Ham Radio.
All right, for our final prize, the 51A plus 2, courtesy of ICOM. It's my number. Okay. 5953. Oh, there's a man. Mr. Patterson, George.
Oh, you're 5'7". I missed it by 4.
So, Amy, have you?
So look for a while.
Hang up for a second, we will be replaying. Got to take a picture here. Make sure you pick up the bill at the back.
How many?
Come by